Welcome back to Hack City. Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson here to recap the first round of the FCS football playoffs. We've got lots of games to get to, but before we get there, I want to remind everybody that today's episode is presented to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. If you're going to be betting on college football or the NFL this season, make sure to head on over to FanDuel. Sean, any lines you're liking this weekend?
Here's a question for you. Monday Night Football, Giants at Patriots. Patriots favored by 7.5.
Not touching it.
Okay, the line is obviously leaning Pats. Is there a way the Giants, one, score a point, and two, do the Patriots score less than 47 points on their own? Because if not, I like the under at 46.5.
I would actually take the inverse. I think that you've got Dart coming back. I think that there's a little bit of juice to be had with Dart coming back.
You guys are scoring more points with Jameis.
That's not true. I would take the over on that game. But we're not here to talk NFL. We're here to talk about FCS. We got to start with the craziest game of the weekend. Yale mounts a ridiculous comeback down 36-7 at halftime to win 43-42. I was all ready to grandstand about how much I hate the Ivy League and how they didn't deserve to be there. And it was looking like that. Shame on Youngstown for not getting this job done and completely just booling and resting the entire second half, thinking that they could just donk around and they would be fine. Credit to Yale for fighting the way that they did. Pitzenberger had a ridiculous performance, 32 rushes for 209 yards and 3 touchdowns. Dante Reno, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks. By the way, did not realize that he is the head coach's son. Didn't connect with me, didn't register, but the Yale Bulldogs chipped away at what ended up being the craziest comeback of the entire FCS season and one of the craziest in the history of the sport.
21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. What are we doing? What happened? You got the brung. You were bringing the brung. They brought the brung, Joe. The brung had 400 yards, 3 pass touchdowns, 3 rush touchdowns. What more could the brung have done? It's really unfortunate. I thought that Youngstown State was going to just march right through Yale. It was looking like it. It really looked like it. But Yale decided to keep on toting the rock. Shout out Coach Wheeler. The offensive line didn't stop. They kept on running the ball. Youngstown State, I guess, wasn't ready for that. Didn't want to get punched in the mouth in the second half. Unacceptable. This isn't a homerism or anything like that. It's Yale. Youngstown State was a team that could have made noise. They had a player in Bo Brungard that I thought could have gone up and it really pushed some of the best teams. They pushed the best team in the regular season. And now we have another late entrant out of the playoffs with Youngstown State. They could have actually battled with some of the top squads. Good luck, Yale, I guess. All right, do this again. Do this again next week if you can. Go ahead. Put up 21 unanswered next week. Crawl back from a 36-7 or crawl back from leads and deficits, whatever you need to do. But I have a sour taste in my mouth and wondering if they're going to be able to replicate, because this is more of a miracle than I think a trend.
Yes, and I think that's why it absolutely deserves to get love and recognition because of how insane it is, and it's such an incredibly memorable moment. It sucks that we're losing Brungard because, I mean, he is one of the most entertaining players in FCS. He was my leading vote for the Walter Payton Award.
Likewise.
I was hoping that he would string together a Cinderella-type run and go to the Final Four, and it was really looking like the way that they were flexing their muscles, that they had the juice to accomplish it, couldn't lock in. I think you're right, though. We shouldn't sit here and feel that Yale is going to put together another game like this. They had to rely on Youngstown falling asleep in the second half. This is one of those games where you look at and you watch and you go, man, Youngstown really mailed it in, and they didn't think that Yale was capable of this, and lo and behold, Yale was capable of this.
Oh, yeah.
Overall, again, though, just to reiterate, full credit to Yale for fighting the way that they did, because it is just improbable. It's ridiculous what they were able to accomplish.
Yeah, all right, good win. You're right. Yeah, fine. Like, I'm not going to take a huge playoff win like this away from a team. It's hard to win a football game. Harder to win a playoff football game. But this must have proved that the Ivies had a hell of a Saturday, right? Like, the Ivies must have just stomped out all their competition.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, no, they obviously, of course, did. Oh, no, wait. What does this number say? Villanova. Is that a 5 and a 2? 52-7. Look, I am really genuinely annoyed by the response that I got when I called the Ivy League a slightly better version of the Pioneer League. It is the Pioneer League with Patagonia vests and consulting degrees. Good for those dudes, man. Those dudes are going to go on to make a lot of money. Some of them are going to go on to be really successful. They're not the same level of football player as teams in these other conferences. I thought that if there was going to be a game where the Ivy League won, it was going to be Harvard doing it. But I was reminded of one of the thoughts that I had on this and why I wasn't really overly impressed with the Ivy League. When we played them, we played Harvard 3 times. We played Brown 4 times in our career. 95% of that roster was not up to the standard of the type of roster that you would see in the CAA at the time when I was there. It's kind of gone down a little bit in the Missouri Valley, in the Big Sky. I think a lot of people love to point out and go, well, why do all of these top programs go and pull recruits from the Ivy Leagues when you claim that the talent isn't very good there? Most of those guys that have gone and moved up have not truly translated to having successful careers at the bigger programs they went to. I remember when Joey Slackman was hyped up to be this huge, highly impactful defensive tackle for Florida that they got in the portal coming from Penn, and the kid barely played when he showed up in the SEC. It's a bit of a fallacy, and I've read a lot about this. It's a bit of a fallacy that's been created by coaching staffs where they go, man, we just need some real leaders. We need to go get some of those Ivy League recruits. Those were quotes, anonymous quotes from coaches that were talking about how, we really just need that leadership. That's the real important thing. We need guys that are going to really raise the foundation and the floor of this team. But it doesn't mean that they're capable of actually stepping on the field.
Smart
and being
guys.
good.
They're getting smart guys.
Right. And
fine.
It came to fruition with this. This was in and out, just run you down type of a game, 52-7, 512 total yards to 213. Pat McQuaid had a solid performance. Jaden Craig, who was supposed to be, again, a guy that people were saying is an NFL guy, a guy that's going to maybe go in the portal this year and get highly sought after. He goes 9 of 21 for 107 yards, a touchdown and 2 picks.
Yeah, he had a bad day. Villanova had a good day. Really good. They ran for 319 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's bully ball. That's just that's kind of what was expected from me when you're looking at big brolic offensive line versus Harvard. Now, Harvard can scheme up pretty well. Harvard can be a pebble in your shoe that will stay in your shoe until the fourth quarter. Like from playing them, I know they can be sticky and they stay around in games that they have no business staying around in. But Villanova wasn't playing that. They didn't want to do that. They got the pebble out of their shoe and they just went crazy. And they stomped out Harvard, 50-burger in the playoffs. Sorry, Harvard, you lost. You lost in your championship game, and you lost in the first round. One team from the Ivies reasserted. Yale proved it. Yale, this is it. I'm sorry, we got proved completely right here. Only one team needed to go. The winner of the Ivy League should go. Winner of the Ivy Leagues won their first game. The second place team lost by 45 points. So I think it would have been. I'm not sure if it would have been totally replicated if Yale played Nova and Harvard played Youngstown. I actually think Youngstown wins that, and I think Yale could push Harvard a little bit. Regardless, huge win for Villanova. The team is hot, scoring a bunch of points in the first round's always good. And guess what? They kind of get a warm-up game against Harvard, who, by the way, if they played in the regular season, would go just like this. It's not a playoff situation. If Harvard played Villanova in week 6, it would look like this. And all I do is pull a fat stat and we'd move on. But since they were second in the Ivies, now we have to talk about them in the playoffs. Whatever. Good work, Villanova.
Yeah, good work, Villanova, for completely vindicating me. I'm very glad that at least one of these games ended up being a blowout. The Yale game almost ended up being one too, but we're not here to harp on that. We'll see what Yale does against Montana State.
I will say I saw the Reddit FCS guys kind of walking it back a little bit on Saturday. We're like,
I'm not hating on. Look, I'm not hating on them. I'm the type of person I have no problem having the discourse. Yeah. I think that there's two sides to every single argument. As someone who literally just loves to debate with people, I think that it's fine, and having conversations is what makes any sport better. Because if there's only one right answer to every single problem, any sport's boring. That's why it sucks when there's a dynasty and there's a clear best team. It's boring and it's lame and it's stupid seeing the best team win over and over again, which is ironic that I'm saying it because there's a team that literally fits that criteria.
I like having the universal villain of a dynasty that everyone's going against. I think the NFL is as popular as it is when the Patriots were unstoppable and the Chiefs for 5 years were like, who's going to stop the Chiefs? Like, I think that gives me so much more juice in the season to see what team could do it.
I just like having discourse. I like being able to argue. I think that at the end of the day, there is very rarely a right answer until it's proven on the field. And one side ended up being right with Harvard getting smoked, and Yale proved that they had some huge nuts for being able to fight to get back into the game. Reminder that today's episode is presented to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm praying for you if you bet on Harvard to cover whatever the line was for this game. We got to talk about our Rhode Rams. Solid performance for the boys, 27-19 over Central Connecticut. The recap of last year, was real pissed that I couldn't find highlights to rewatch this bad boy. I found the highlights from last year and I almost started watching that. And then I realized that was not this year, which was quite disappointing. But it's worth noting as the score kind of looked a little bit close here. Central Connecticut had to produce most of their yardage and their points in the fourth quarter when the game was pretty much sealed. So URI had the game in hand. They almost pulled a little bit of a Youngstown State here, but they were able to hold off little brother.
Yeah, would have loved to have another touchdown of separation for Rhode, just because weird stuff happens in the playoffs and Central Connecticut State started scrapping back a little bit. Didn't matter though. Rhode defense solid, holding Central Connecticut State's 1,000-yard rusher Elijah Howard to 35 yards in this game. Lovely. That's great. You want to win in the playoffs? You can't get run on. You have to shut down the run game, make it a one-dimensional offense for the other team. URI did that in this game, and guess what? URI was pretty balanced. Free smoke queese, Marquise Buchanan, 7 catches, 101 and 1. Devin Farrell, good day, 365 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Good. It's good. It's solid. I don't know how much, if we have to spend too much time on this because it's Central Connecticut State. I don't think there was much expectation there. But Rhode Island is the CAA winner. Good to get by. Good to get a win. And then you move on to UC Davis and see what happens there. But yeah, solid to get one under the belt. Nice. I don't know if I'm going to qualify it a one-score game as a warm-up game, but a little bit of a warm-up game here for them.
Yeah, a little bit of a nice warm-up after they lost the opportunity to have a bye. What?
Do you see they got Keith out at Rhode Island for the playoff game?
What do you mean?
Like some of the alumni were there in Kingston this weekend.
You're saying that like they flew?
No, like he was nasty. There. Like Kevin was there, Keith was there, and that was our invite? Shocked. I know.
Where was our invite? I have people asking if we're going to UC Davis. No, I'm not flying to UC Davis. No.
Insane question.
Yeah.
Insane.
No. If they were playing Lehigh, maybe I would go, which I have been offered tickets to go to their game against Villanova, but I don't know if I'm going to end up doing that during conference championship.
Here's the bullshit. You or I should have been 8 if we're doing this. And then they're hosting, and then we could have gone and seen them host. It's another little dagger from this team from being unranked in the playoffs to the 3rd best Big Sky team, by the way. Kind of some hooey is what I'm feeling here, watching them have to go to freaking California for this game.
Our Grimace conference champion ACU gets a Grimace opponent against SFA this upcoming weekend after they beat Lamar 38-20. I had a couple questions that were asked of the Grimace situation.
Mm-hmm.
ACU was 4-0 in Grimace play. No one was close enough. They clinched it long ago. So no, this is not the Grimace National Championship. This is a Grimace exhibition game that might also have other implications on it. This is not the National Championship. If SFA wanted to have a shot at a Grimace National Championship, they should have won the games on their schedule. They should have won the games during the regular season. They should have won the games that they were supposed to.
They should have scheduled more purple teams.
Teams. If you guys want to be taken seriously in the hunt for a Grimace championship, you have to more competitively schedule purple teams. So no, this is not a national championship.
So you don't feel first of all, Lamar got drubbed in this game by ACU. Lamar was a little weak all year. I didn't think they had a ton of great wins. Not hating on Lamar. It was a good season for Lamar. But look, ACU also stealing the Lamar bit. Caught that. Yeah, we caught that. They need more Lamars in the portal.
Yeah.
Seeing other people jump on that.
Yeah.
But I think so. Grimace conference. So are we sending ACU a banner for just winners outright 2025? Like if we were going to do this,
I think we should just print out a piece of paper and mail it to them.
Oh, we could do that. we can do that.
I think it needs to be as barnyard as possible.
But I'm trying to
Some
think
purple crayon on the back.
of the tech.
Good job, guys.
How it would be presented. Like if this were a pro team, they would have it's just one banner, or is it going to be regular season winners and then postseason winners, or is there going to be anything for the postseason matchup, or is this just like you want it to be an exhibition? Because we still got Tarleton floating around in here in the playoffs. Like there's still some Grimace reps.
No, because I don't think we already talked about this. Tarleton can't face another. If I'm recalling correctly, off the playoff bracket, I don't think that they can face another purple team. Because right now, Tarleton. Wait, what were the standings really quick?
Tarleton was second.
They were 2-1, and SFA was 1-1. So on top of this, by the way, they were, people were asking about this. They were just kind of making up the rules. Obviously, we weren't making up the rules. We didn't make these rules. They were established. Okay, we were told this by Grimace, the representative, the leader of the conference. We didn't make these rules. Tarleton. They don't have a chance to play another purple team. So there's just no way for that to come to fruition. And even if SFA wins this game, they're 2-1 in Grimace, and Abilene would then be 3-1. So they also have no shot at playing another purple team. So no, it's all right.
You heard
done.
The man. You heard the man.
It's done.
All right.
I don't make the damn rules.
He doesn't want to make another graphic, is what happened.
No. There was a champion. Illinois State versus C-Law to move on, because that whole bunch of meaningless nonsense. This game obviously has meaning. Southeastern Louisiana really just felt like they were hanging around for most of this game, and Carson Camp towards the end had too many brutal turnovers that kept them out of it. Both these teams, this was one of the slowest games that I've tried to rewatch. This was like really back and forth, and neither team could finish a drive. It was just very odd. It was just like, oh, okay, that drive's not going to end. Okay, there's no points on this drive. Oh, okay, there's no points on that drive. It was very seesawish with no end result, and Illinois State just kind of slowly drug C-Law into the ground.
Yeah, it seems like to be what Illinois State's procedure has been this year. I am wary of the Redbirds, as they have some very good wins, and they have some weird losses. Like, are they better than SIU? It is CELA worse than SIU, and it's all transitive, and I know, but Illinois State, they have really good pieces. Fine with me. Rittenhouse, solid year. They got two good running backs with Dawson and Wright. Having good seasons. Wright played in this game also, which is good for the Redbirds. But what are they? I guess you're a team that can just go out and suffocate Southeastern Louisiana for 4 quarters, and now I guess they're the proverbial sacrificial lamb for the first feasting for North Dakota State next week. But I would qualify this as a win season for Illinois State. You get a playoff win, I'm going to be happy for you. So it's a good win for the Redbirds.
And same thing kind of applies here, sadly, for Tennessee Tech. I know that this might sound a little bit participation trophy-ish, that they showed up. They had a really memorable season. They got screwed over with their seeding because they didn't have a super competitive schedule. They're the 13 seed. They go up against a really solid North Dakota team. They fought for 3 quarters. It was 10-6, and then North Dakota just unloaded, scoring 21 points in the 4th quarter. Vesperis felt like he did everything that he could, but as I was rewatching as much as I could find on this game, North Dakota visibly was overwhelming Tennessee up front. 4 fumbles in this game for Vesperis. You just kept seeing every single time he dropped back, it felt like the pocket was collapsing instantly. It's one of the things that I think that one of the bits that's been the hardest to talk about with fans generally, especially at FCS, I think a lot of people sometimes assume that everything is moderately equal because you have X skill player who's got a ton of yards.
Yeah.
But the minute that you step in and you play a team in one of these top conferences, you really see the difference in the size and the strength of the lines of scrimmage. That is always the decider. It's why we keep seeing Missouri Valley Football Conference teams win national championships, why we see Big Sky teams compete for and be capable of winning national championships. And it's why usually the best CAA team, you usually get one really good roster in the CAA now that JMU and Delaware are gone, but it was kind of the same thing in the past when JMU was there. They will have the bodies necessary on the lines of scrimmage in order to be able to win playoff games. So yeah, this was just a really good example of, hey, great season, but you're just not there yet, and it's going to be hard for you to get there.
Get bigger in the trenches. That's what you would hope for. Maybe you got some guys you're recruiting. Whatever. You can't be a turnover fest. It can't be 6 turnovers for Tennessee Tech, and then to hang around and then have it all fall apart. That's what happens. It's the nature of the game. You have to protect the football if you want to win, because eventually the levee's going to break, and everyone regresses to their mean. All right? There's some freak stuff that happens in this sport. But if you give another team 6 extra possessions, the other team is eventually going to win because they have 6 extra possessions, because it's stamina, because it's fatigue, and it's all the things in football that go overlooked when you're looking at a box score and you're wondering how it's possible. It was so tight. Well, no, it's all going to come back to the mean. North Dakota good win. Fine win by them. I know I was not trying to, I guess in my preview, diminish North Dakota and their season too much. They are a good team. I had higher expectations for Tennessee Tech. And maybe I associated myself with them a little too much and made it a little personal, thinking that they could go on a run. But it's a great year. Be proud of this year, Tennessee Tech. You ran into a good team in North Dakota. You got shafted a little bit. Maybe you schedule a little bit differently next year. Whatever. Fine season from Tennessee Tech.
South Dakota State ends up being the most dangerous team right now in the playoff.
Of course.
Craziest. Just the fact that this came to fruition, the Chase Mason comes back, goes 16 of 20 in the snow like a madman. UNH, thanks for showing up. You're supposed to be a snow demon, but what the hell was that? Apparently that South Dakota snow is just too different than that stupid New Hampshire snow, whatever they got going on up there.
It's that sleet.
Nothing. It's just like a loose fart instead of that real snow that we saw in the field for this game. It looked great. Hell of a performance by SDSU, and I'm almost just more mesmerized by the fact that the snow for this game looked absolutely mesmerizing and fantastic.
It looked freezing cold. It looked bitterly cold. Holy hell. How is South Dakota State how did they all right, way to hold on, fellas. Way to build up enough wins in the beginning of the season before Mason got hurt to keep yourself afloat. Because if he got back, we said this, if he got back in the playoffs, nobody wants to play this team. Because he was a Walter Payton guy, one of the best offensive players in the FCS this year. And he gets back, and it's cold, and it's snowing, and you have the run game still, and you have the receivers and the defense. And all you needed was your quarterback back, and you get him back, and you win by 38. Buzzsaw, one of the last teams I'd want to be seated up with in the playoffs. There's a lot of coaches right now that are hoping that they don't have to see this Jackrabbits team, because it's not just Chase Mason that won this. Julius Luffridge, huge day, 1,101. Like, it's just, go ahead. All right, go on the run. This is what they're waiting for. And honestly, they took some nasty losses down the stretch, hurt their seeding, but not enough. It's a team that nobody wants to play right now.
No, absolutely not. I don't think we should be shocked if a run is not produced. Their counterpart, South Dakota, had another easy game as well, 38-13 against the one rematch that happened in the first round. I believe this was the only rematch. Easy time with Drake. Drake's always one of those teams that you can't really hate on.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. Fine with Drake.
Yeah, you showed up. You played a football game. You didn't win the football game, but you played the football game. Hung around a little bit. Kind of, but ended up being another 21-point loss like early in the season. Bauman, 15 of 20, 261 yards, 4 touchdowns. LJ Phillips, 14, 132, a tud. Lorenzo Fenner, 5 receptions, 115, 3 tuds. This is just one of those kind of effortless games that kind of shrug your shoulders and go, okay.
You're kind of happy being South Dakota in this one. Hey, I got my triplets going.
Football.
We got our offense. We got our running. We got our receiver going. Quarterback had a nice, good day.
Yeah, it was a football game.
Yeah, look, we just went out there and played some ball. We got a playoff win. Now we're going to go and then face off against Mercer. It was a good win for South Dakota. Get primed up. Get ready. I like seeing that they didn't really struggle much. The offense was potent. The offense was moving along nicely. It's what you would want to see in this game early. And I think a lot of the winners this week showed that. I mean, it was a lot of blowouts. So I think the second round of games is going to be fantastic because we've separated the wheat from the chaff, the good from the bad, the shit from the mega shit. So we are ready to go.
Poop from the fart.
That's right. We have properly separated the poop from the fart.
Yep.
And now we're just moving on to the second round. It's gonna be good games. I mean, we got some teams that were really rolling. They go ahead. I'm sure.
Well, and I'm just thinking about like, okay, so if round one is poop from fart round, what's round two? What do we? Because the fart's obviously better than the poop because you don't want to. Or no, wait, would the poop be better than the fart?
You're separate. Oh God.
Because I guess if you're standing up and you're not and you've pants on, obviously the fart's better than the poop. But if you're on the toilet and you really got to shit. All right, I think we need to end the show.
I'm just trying to. I'm working here for you, trying to think what would be better.
I went to bed at 2:30 last
which.
night. I need to put my head through the drywall. I'm sorry for anyone who listened to that. All right, we're going to be back this week at Joe DeLeone at Sanderson Radio at Hack City Pod. Yeah. Goodbye.